Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. It is Saturday morning. I hope your week's been really good. Hope you've gotten to reach all your goals you set for this week, and perhaps if you didn't quite get all the boxes checked, perhaps you still have a bit of time to get that done. This week we don't have just one teacher to lead us into our daily meditation, but a whole bunch of different teachers. Today we have a real Japanese proverb, we have an old Buddhist proverb, and we have a quote from Anthony de Mello. Let's get into today's message. Sunmari, a very good morning. Happy Saturday. And Danae, good morning. Happy Saturday to you. Welcome to the weekend. The question that today's meditation asks is, are you still stuck in the matrix, or have you escaped? Honey, good morning. Welcome to this beautiful Saturday. So are you still stuck in the matrix, or have you escaped the matrix? This is not about plugging out of some digital world. It's about freeing yourself from the programming that controls you, the collections of unseen scripts running in your own subconscious mind. That really is the matrix we become stuck in. We all have an invisible operating system running quietly in the background of our consciousness, built from childhood experiences, absorbed beliefs, and repeated emotional patterns, and these shape our responses to the world before we've even had the chance to think. Most people live their entire lives inside this system without ever questioning it. When we are not aware, we are at the mercy of years of programming that take us along for the ride without asking our permission first. So let's explore how to step out of the passenger seat and finally take the wheel of our own life. There's an old Japanese proverb that says, be the master of the mind, rather than mastered by the mind, which is exactly the same as this idea of escaping the matrix that is in control of you. Be the master of the mind, says this old proverb, rather than being mastered and controlled by the mind. Then the Buddhist proverb says, be the witness of your thoughts. Be the witness of your thoughts. You are what observes. You are not what you observe. In completely different words, saying the exact same thing. You could be completely under control of the mind, of the thoughts that you think, or you can take a step back and become the witness to these thoughts, the observer of the thoughts going through your mind. And if you are the observer of these thoughts, then they're not controlling you. And then Anthony de Mello's words say, wisdom tends to grow in proportion to one's awareness of one's ignorance. When we become the observer of ourselves, we also see very clearly where our own ignorance lies. And as we become aware of our own ignorance, we become more of the observer, and we tend to grow in wisdom. Your thoughts are the source of the matrix that you live in. Old programming, old patterns produce the same old thinking on repeat every day. And the only way to escape this matrix is to step away from the thoughts and take a good look at them. See how these old thoughts on repeat are creating the same things over and over again. But here's the real key to escaping the matrix. Can you or are you able to not judge any of the thinking? When you judge and criticize your thoughts, then you become triggered emotionally by them. And when your thoughts control your emotions, then you're still in the matrix. Can you step away from your thoughts and just look at them? Can you watch the worry about that upcoming presentation arise without immediately feeling a pit in your stomach? Can you acknowledge a negative self-belief without sinking into despair? If you can, then you are becoming free. Hey Anthony, good morning, it's good to see you. While your subconscious thoughts control your actions on autopilot, you are caught in an old program that was not even created by you, but by your childhood environment that conditioned most of your subconscious reactions. If you want to be free from the matrix, then you have to be able to watch your own thoughts as they come into being and choose, will I react in the same old pattern as before? Or will I choose a new way to respond? This is true freedom of choice. This really is stepping out of the matrix. If you're ready, you can close your eyes and we'll float away together. Today's meditation is called Come to Your Senses. And this very literally is a practice of becoming that observer, seeing thoughts come and go, and not having them choose how you act. Here we go. Close your eyes. We'll start with the first few big breaths. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly, just as if there's a balloon in your belly, then also at the same time raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine. Lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. Our journey today is checking in with this body. So let's start that right now. With your next exhale, as your body softens, bring your attention to the space between your eyes, to your forehead. Do you sometimes find yourself carrying a frown there? Right now, is that space between your eyes soft and relaxed? With your next exhale, as your body softens, bring your attention to the area in and around your mouth. You sometimes find yourself with tight jaw muscles, or your tongue pressed hard into the roof of your mouth, or grinding your teeth. When you find that, do you remember to have a conversation with this body? Do you remember to let this body know that right now everything is safe? With your next breath, as your body softens, bring your attention to your neck and shoulders. You often carry a tightness there, shoulders pulled up high. And when you do you remember to take a few big, slow breaths and roll out those shoulder muscles, guiding them to a softer place. With your next exhale, as your body softens, bring your attention to your stomach area. This is where tension hides the most effectively. Tension carried in our stomachs for years, even decades, without really noticing we're doing it. When you feel that tension there, do you remember to have a conversation with this body? Letting this body know that right now everything is okay. Right now we're safe. Right now it will be so safe to soften. And then as you exhale, bring your attention to your legs and your arms, specifically your hands. That's another place where tension hides under the radar and tightly clenched fists. We don't even realize we're walking around with these balled fists. Right now, feel your hands open. Feel your hands release. Have your hands lie half open, relaxed in your lap. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together and continue to help our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, take a moment to focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left. Lean your upper body over to the right. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, we'll take the next few big breaths together. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a long, slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips into your body. Feel how softness settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath. But hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I want to remind you that today's meditation is about checking in with this body. So as you take a deep breath, as you dive deep inside, perhaps wrap your arms around this body and have a quick conversation with this body. Let this body know, hey body, I really love having you. Take your next big breath. Our journey of the senses starts right at the top with your eyes and what you can see, and then works its way through your body. So with your first big breath as you dive deep into you, the question to ask is, if you were to open your eyes, and for the exercise we keep them closed, but if you were to open your eyes and look around your room, what would be something really obvious that you would see? Don't overthink it. Choose the first obvious thing that comes to mind. Now with your eyes closed, as you hold your breath, study this obvious object. See it from all of its angles, see all of its color, and find all of its texture. Take your next big breath. And then we'll change gears. We're still staying with what you can see. But this time, ask, what would be the least obvious thing that I would see if I were to open my eyes? And again, don't overthink it. Choose whatever comes to mind first. The object doesn't matter. As you take a deep breath, as you dive deep into you, spend the time studying this less obvious object. See it from all of its angles, see all of its color, and find all of its texture. Take your next big breath. Note the ease with which you're able to be the observer right now. Simply observing the information that your eyes give you. Is there any need to judge or criticize what you see? Is there any need to react to what you see right now? Now, with practice, we can do this, not just with our outer senses, but with our inner senses too. With practice, we can do the same thing with our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions. Just observe what is there. Let's take a step down to your ears and what you can hear. Let's keep practicing. Practice being the observer. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, bring your attention to whatever is the most obvious sound you can hear and just listen to it. See if you can find different vibrations in this obvious sound. Take your next big breath. And then we'll change gears. This time, shift your attention to the least obvious sound you can hear. Something that's barely more than a whisper. And try and listen deep. How much can you hear of this less obvious sound? Take your next big breath. Note the ease with which you're able to just be the observer. Information is reaching you through your ears, and you are able to just witness. Can you trust that it is possible to learn how to do this for your inner senses too? When there are thoughts, feelings, emotions, you are able to become the witness to these as well. Just observe. Find yourself being curious about the information coming to you. We'll take another step down, this time to your nose and what you can smell. And for these next two stops, your nose and your mouth, Change your breathing to whatever it needs to be. And also, these 2 stops are more difficult than the rest, unless you have something you can bring to your mouth or bring to your nose, something to taste, something to smell. Otherwise, you're just tasting and smelling the air, which is okay. Can you be curious about that? So with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, it is time for your nose, for your sense of smell. Is there any obvious smell you can find right now? Take your next big breath. Let's do it again, but this time, see if you can smell anything different. Is there any other smell besides the first obvious smell? Take your next big breath. Now these 2 stops, smell and taste, they begin to provide us an opportunity to practice applying this to our thoughts. Do you have any thoughts that go like this? I can't smell anything. There's nothing to smell right now. This is a stupid exercise. If you have any thoughts like that popping up, this is exactly where you practice. Can you just observe those thoughts? Not judge them, not judge yourself for having these thoughts, not judging the exercise for being so stupid, but continue the exercise regardless of the thoughts. That's where the practice really starts. Let's try it again with the most difficult stop of today, your mouth, your taste buds. Especially if you've got nothing to taste right now. But try, as you take your next big breath, dive deep into you and see if there's any taste to find right there, right now. And observe with curiosity any thoughts that might pop into your mind. Take your next big breath. Let's try the same thing one more time. Get yourself an extra dose of curiosity. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, is there any other taste you can find right now? Just be curious. Take your next big breath. We've got one more stop to do, the surface of your skin. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, see if you can find the most obvious sensation on the surface of your skin. Linger there for a moment. Can you sense different sensations and pressures in that obvious space? Take your next big breath. And then one more time, as you take a deep breath and dive deep into you, are you able to find on the surface of your skin the slightest sensation? Is there anywhere you can just find fabric rest on skin? Or could you perhaps feel the air touch your forehead or your cheek? Take your next big breath. We'll take one more big breath together to slip out of the breath-holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. Being the observer, this very simple exercise of bringing our attention to our physical senses is a really good practice for being the observer. Now, being the observer does not mean that we only ever observe and we never take action. But it practices something very important. There's a big difference between taking action and always being reactive. If you tend to be controlled by the first thought that pops up into your mind, if whatever thoughts flood you from your subconscious, if those thoughts control how you feel, if those thoughts have a habit of controlling your reactions, and you're fully stuck in the matrix, your life is then controlled by programming. a program that you did not write, but a program that was just handed to you from your environment. We need a practice that helps us slow down. A practice that helps us see how the thoughts form and how they pop up into our minds. We need a practice that helps us see how we want to react to these thoughts. A practice that slows this reaction down. Practice that allows us to ask, do I want to react in the same old way? I'm able to observe the thoughts going through my mind. I'm able to observe how I want to react. Is this what I want? Is the old reaction what I want? Or would I like to try a new response? This is how we step out of the matrix. The old Japanese proverb says, be the master of the mind, not mastered by the mind. They do say that the mind makes a very good servant, not such a good master. The old Buddhist proverb says, be the witness of your thoughts. You are that which observes. You are not the things and the thoughts you observe. And Anthony de Mello says, wisdom tends to grow in proportion to one's awareness of one's ignorance. In the practice of being the observer, does it give you awareness of all of your old ignorance? If it doesn't, if we don't come face to face with our own ignorance, we're probably not stepping out of the matrix. We're probably still caught in the thinking that happens inside that matrix. If you don't also become very clearly aware of your own ignorances, then you're probably still controlled by them. Thank you for joining us in the exercise. The very simple act of taking a step back and observing. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this very simple exercise. Learning how to be the witness and not controlled by the thinking. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning to be really happy. Just observing for a while. Curiously seeing what unfolds. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to trust wisdom to know what action to take. And learning that often there is no action to take. Often letting things be, letting things run their course, while I conserve my energy for the important action. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning to trust that there is always wisdom if I give it a bit of space. There is always wisdom that will lead me to the right action at the right time. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for being on this journey with us. Thank you, honey. Thank you, Danae. Thank you, Sunmari. Thank you, Anthony. Wishing you a beautiful Saturday. Have a really fun weekend. Ciao, ciao.